Christians around the world are spending Good Friday praying, reflecting, and marking the passion of the Lord. And it's all happening as Pope Francis, the head of one of the largest churches in the world, continues recovering from his bout with double pneumonia. Joining me now is the director for the Word on Fire Institute, Dr. Markie Petrusek. Doctor, as always, thanks for hopping on with me, especially on a Good Friday.
Good morning. Good morning. It's always good to be with you.
We know the Pope didn't show up for holy events on Thursday. Do you have any inside scoop on his latest condition or kind of what we can expect from Easter weekend as a whole?
Sure. So the Vatican is still saying that he's presiding over all of the events of Holy Week, but it seems that he may or may not actually be present. And so, for example, the services on Good Friday and the Easter Vigil, he's written the homilies, so he's going to be participating at least that way. But it looks like there'll be cardinals who are actually specifically overseeing the events. But as I can see on the images you're showing right now, he did go to a prison recently in Rome, and we saw him without the oxygen support. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, and why do you think he chose to visit the prison rather than lead yesterday's services? Do you have any kind of insight as to that choice?
You know, I think that's Francis in a nutshell right there. I wouldn't say that his absence at the services is meant to show that he sees those as somehow less important. But from the very beginning of his papacy, he has emphasized the theme of mercy and specifically going out to what he calls the margins, including the existential margins, as he describes it. And so going to those who are forsaken, to those that society believes have no value. He's always made that a priority. And so I'm not surprised that he made that a priority with this week as well.
Okay. He's obviously been discharged from the hospital. I know members in his camp are saying that he's far less dependent on supplemental oxygen right now. But how worrisome is it for the church that he hasn't been front and center for such a long time now?
It's always a concern, and I think, as I've shared before, the Vatican is always very reticent to share a lot of information about specific details regarding the Pope's health. The fact that he is in public, or he was in public, and that he didn't have oxygen support does signal to us that he is at least stable right now. But it remains the case that the Pope is very old and his health is fragile, and so we all recognize as a church that at some point he will pass, but all the mechanisms are in place to continue forward when that moment happens.
Yeah, still wishing him well as he continues to recover. And just as it pertains to news of the day, Vice President J.D. Vance, who's a staunch Catholic, headed to Rome today to celebrate Easter, and he's hoping to smooth over relations with Pope Francis after their public dispute over the Trump administration's stance on immigration. If the vice president does get a meeting with Pope Francis, which I imagine he likely would, how do you think that's going to go?
I think it'll go well. J.D. Vance is a great communicator, and he indeed is a faithful Catholic. And so, as a Catholic, he has the deepest respect for the Pope. And so, I would hope that if that meeting does indeed take place, that it would sort of just clear the air, because I think there's a lot of misconceptions on the Vatican side about the actual policies and the actual procedures that are happening in the United States. And so just having the opportunity for the two people to meet, as you know, it's different when you're in the room versus when you're trading information back and forth across different channels.
Yeah, definitely. We know nothing confirmed yet about any meeting with the Pope, but the Vice President will attend Good Friday Mass at St. Peter's Basilica at the Vatican. Well, Dr. Markie Petrusek, thank you so much. Happy Good Friday and happy Easter weekend to you and yours, sir.
To you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.